Now let's start learning about Spring Boot annotations. Okay, and the most elementary annotation in Spring Boot is the @Spring Boot annotation. Okay, so it is actually a combination of three annotations. First one is @configuration. So when you mark any class with @configuration, it defines that class as a configuration class. Okay, in the configuration class you can create some beans, so Spring will load those beans. Why? Because you have marked that class as a configuration class. There is no bean for that class, but beans defined in that class will get created as bean. Okay, then the second one is @EnableAutoConfiguration. Okay, so this annotation enables auto configuration in your Spring Boot application, which means whatever dependencies you add into your class path, it will create the required beans which are generally necessary. You don't need to explicitly define those beans, it will automatically create. Okay, and the third one is @ComponentScan. So it will scan your current package and sub packages for the beans that you want to create. Okay, so it will automatically do that and it will create the beans. Don't need to write it in the XML file. Okay, some other annotations are @component. Okay, so whenever you put this annotation on any class, it makes that class a Spring managed bean. The Spring will scan the package, and if it finds any class which is marked with the @component annotation, it will create a bean for that class. Okay, then is @service annotation. So it is a specialization of the component annotation, but it is used to define that this class is our service layer. It contains some core business logic. Similarly, there is a @repository annotation. Again, it is also a part of the component annotation. It is defined to mark your class as a repository layer class. It is part of the repository layer. It is used for only interacting with database. It doesn't hold business logic. So generally, business logic should be there in the service class. Okay, so then is your @configuration annotation. We talked about this earlier as well. So if you want to configure some beans explicitly or some third-party beans, you can use the configuration annotation. It tells Springs that this class defines some other beans which would need to be loaded, or some configurations can be configured here. Okay, so whenever you run a Spring Boot application, in case it is vehicle.java, it will first do a component scan. Okay, so it will scan all the packages. Okay, so when it will scan, it will search for classes with these annotations: component, service, repository. There is one more, controller and configuration. Okay, so similarly, if you introduce controller, for this you need to add another starter dependency, but I am explicitly explaining it here. It will mark your class as a controller class, which means it is designed to receive HTTP requests, and then this request can be diverted to any service class. Okay, but it is used for interacting with the web. Okay, so it will scan all these, and whatever beans it find, it will register them with the Spring container. So whenever a Spring Boot application starts, all this activity happens. Okay, let's see a code example as well. We earlier saw the Spring Boot application, so you now know this application contains three other application annotations, and all of them do their function. Here you just need to write this application.run and just the class name, nothing you want to do. Your web server is started. Now we have a configuration class. So in this configuration class, I am creating a string object. So since this is a configuration class, no bean will be created for this class, but other beans defined in this class will be created. Here I'm just creating a simple string object, but just a demonstration that you can create any bean that you want. So I'm defining it app name. So the name of this object will be the method name. So it will be app name, and I'm passing a string here. Because I'm using @bean, it will create a bean for this one. Okay, now I'm creating a service class, car service. Okay, so I'm annotating it this with a service annotation. Okay, so Spring will note that this is a service class, it is used for the service layer. So it will recognize this, it will create an object for this service class. Now this has an Autowired annotation engine. I have already explained you Autowired, it is used for dependencies from one bean into another. It will first create the engine object as well, depending on whether we have registered engine as a object or not, and then it will inject the engine in the car service. When car service will be created, this engine will be automatically set. Okay, I have explained this in the earlier video, you can go back and watch that when we talked about dependency injection. Now there is an engine class, because it is not a like a service layer where we have any business logic. We have simply defined it as using the component annotation. Okay, so it has a method, and because it is a component, Spring container will recognize it and it will load it, and it can be injected in the car service class as well. Okay, so if I run this Spring Boot application, we already saw that it starts a Tomcat or default port 8080. It is also logging is configured for you. Some other components are configured. I want to show you something. If you go to bean section in IntelliJ, if you click on application, you can see that this many beans have been configured for your application. Okay, for example, this HTTP client metrics, auto configuration, HTTP, so many beans. You have Jackson for your JSON serialization, many Spring related beans, for example, Tomcat related beans. Lot of beans have been already configured. You have your car service as well, which you defined. Okay, you have your engine as well, but many other beans are configured. Okay, if you go to this mapping section, you can see some actuators are configured. How they are configured in the POM, I think we have added somewhere, we've added this starter dependency, Spring Boot starter actuator. So Spring provides these starters, which are like package of dependencies based on your purpose. So we have added actuators. So what is actuators? Actuators are endpoint which are used to check your application health and other utility things. For example, it has given us this actuator endpoint. If we run this endpoint, you see we get this response. We are getting this response. What it is saying? It is saying that you have other endpoints. For example, you have actuator health. So let's go back and run this actuator health endpoint. You can run this on your browser as well. So this is also kind of a simple browser that I'm running here inside my IntelliJ. I'm doing this because you should know the features of IntelliJ as well. Okay, so if you run this HTTP request, you are getting this status up. If you run this on browser also, you will get that. So it is telling you that your server is up and running. You can continuously, for example, you started a server, after 3 days you want to check whether it is still running on my server or not. Suppose you started on AWS. So if you hit this endpoint and if you get the up response, you can be satisfied that my server is active and running fine. Okay, this is the purpose of actuator. So these are, some common endpoints. And then, in IntelliJ, it is also giving you some configuration of the server that is been started. For example, it is giving you server port, that your server is running on port 8080. Okay, it is listing out some system properties. So the actuators are very useful for, health check of your application. And it is configuring, auto configuration is the heart of Spring Boot, that it automatically detects and configures some beans which are generally used for building a production grade application. Okay, and there are starters in this example. If you see, I have already added some other starters as well. For example, there is the Spring Boot web starter. So if you want to create REST endpoints, you simply add the web starter. So you don't have to add dependencies separately for REST. For other things, general, it will add a package of dependencies inside your Spring Boot application. I have also added test annotation. So if you want to do some unit testing, so it will add all the required dependencies in your application. Then, the original Spring Boot starter also I have added. There is a plugin in IntelliJ. If you click the Maven section of your application, here if you go to dependencies, you can see that you have added these starter dependencies. Okay, Now if you expand these starter dependencies, for example, we added actuator, we added web, we added test, we added starter. If you expand these dependencies, you can see other dependencies that this starter dependency is bringing to you. Okay, for example, you can see that it is bringing the Spring Boot, it is also bringing Spring Boot auto configure, it is bringing Spring Boot starter logging. Now Spring Boot starter logging is itself a starter, so it has other logging frameworks related things. So okay, it is also bringing the annotations, it is bringing the core Spring framework as well, and it is also bringing in the YML feature, so you can create application.yml because it is bringing in. Similarly, if you check the Spring Boot test, it is bringing many dependencies related to unit testing and integration testing. If you check Spring Boot web, it is bringing the Tomcat server. Okay, it is bringing JSON convention, it is bringing the Spring web framework and Spring MVC framework. It is also bringing some things. Similarly, the actuator is bringing the auto configure, it is bringing the micrometer as well. Okay, if you want to use micrometer, we'll talk about this in a later video. So it is bringing the starter is also, you know, a very good feature which Spring Boot offers. So you don't need to worry about which versions to bring. It will automatically, based on your Spring Boot version, it will bring in the correct versions of all the required dependencies. Based on your purpose, you can add that starter and it will bring in the required dependency. Okay, so thank you friends, keep watching and keep learning.